perfect position to be in. You haven't lost, you haven't even tied yet. Nothing but victories, and it could be someone's first loss on the stream here, but it doesn't mean it's over for them. It means they have a harder job of things later on in the day. Let's see some prize cards.
Here we go.
David is obviously the end Zoroark. He already has a number of them in his prize cards there.
But then for Adam also has the Ditto, Fan and a Teal Mask. That's a lot of Pokemon. I imagine that Ditto, I'll get confirmation, is only a one-off. That's not going to be helpful. So both players haven't got the greatest of prize cards here, but we do see the fist bump. Our Swiss Valkyrie feature match here at the Utrecht special event is getting started, and Adam is kicking us off with a Hootoo in active. He's going to start the turn off with a Nest Ball. So while Adam will play this Nest Ball, work out what he's got prize and get a basic Pokemon from his deck to the bench, let's take a little second to talk about the Tera box archetype, which is what he's playing now. It's a bit of a complicated one, but it's got a high-powered ceiling. So I think the main focal point here, Joe, I love it, is that Wellspring Ogerpon, which you do see there on the left. That torrential pump does 100 damage to the active, and you shuffle away 3 energy, it does 120 to the bench. Now remember, we haven't got any bench protection, well, easily splashable bench protection in the format, so that Wellspring Ogerpon can really go to town. But outside of that, by using Noctowl to search your trainers when you evolve into it, there's so many attacking options. We have Teal Mask to accelerate energy, Terrapago, Unified Beatdown to do a lot of damage. Pikachu EX, which we talked about a lot in the Joltik, can be used here, 300 damage, very nice. Full Moon Rondo from Clefairy, having to deal with the Dragon Pulse, so many different attackers in this deck. So basically, how this deck sort of works is you sort of use Noctowl to find your attackers of choice that you want for the matchup, and just abuse it as much as possible.
And one of the beauties of this strategy is that one Nest Ball gets everything you need, because Adam's been able to find 2 Hootoo and already a Noctowl for next turn. So provided he has a Terrestrial Pokemon available, he'll be able to search his deck for the guaranteed pieces that he needs to put the pressure on. And I already do see a Terrapagos EX in hand, so he's already in a really good position here. He's staring down at Bombardier EX as well, so I think he has an idea that he's up against the Zoroark archetype. This was popularized by Lucas Jing and a few other top American players. The Bombardier EX, a fantastic Pokemon to get more Pokemon into play with its fast carry attack. Just one colorless, you can search for 3 basic Pokemon. So there's going to be no issue here for David getting multiple basics down, including, well, already naturally has the Darumaka and Zoroark in that opening hand, so could be going full bench here immediately. And I believe it's holding on to the Cyrano supporter, which can get 3 EX Pokemon out, which means you could bank a bunch of Zoroark in your hand.
Yeah, love to see the Bombardier edition. That's not something you saw in the top 4 list from Seville. Makes a lot of sense. Also give the deck a little bit more out to that cornerstone Ogerpon as well. So David, as we do say, it's been an End Zoroark archetype. It's a really fun one. It revolves around the End Zoroark EX. Well, mainly for its ability trade, which lets you, as we do see now in being played, trade lets you discard 1 card from your hand to draw 2. So if you get like 2 or 3 Zoroark out, you're now seeing an extra 4 to 6, maybe even 8 cards to turn before you had a chance to play a supporter. However, it's also our main attacker, Night Joker, for 2 dark energy, lets you copy any attack from your bench Ends Pokemon in place. We have a few ones. Ends Dark Mantan, Flame Body Cannon, 9 damage to active, 9 to a bench Pokemon. We also have Reshiram, Powerful Rage, the 23 damage counter on itself, or Virtuous Flame for 170. And yet they are the main Ends attackers that you just pull off as and when you need them. A lot of draw power, a lot of situational attackers as well, and then a lot of support as well. We do see it looks like potentially a Clefairy being either or the Bombardier as well.
Deck check, I think I wouldn't be surprised if it was just another End Zoroark here, because we've already committed the reverse energy to a bench Darumaka here. So just getting your second and only other Zoroark you have access to is not suspicious for Adam, and it's also really nice the use of the Iona turn 1 guarantees a Noctowl to the bottom of Adam's deck. You've seen him search out with Mantle, so now there's an opportunity to maybe get Adam on a hand that doesn't have the guaranteed Jewel Seeker. So a nice pick out there from David, and you can see diligently going through the counts here. A lot of 1 and 2 obs within the deck. There's some important cards like the Power Glass, Defiance Band is really important to keep an eye on. Your Professor Tera scenario certainly in this matchup might be relevant. There's also a Pokemon League Headquarters Tech Stadium card within David's list, which could come really clutch in this matchup as we do see Nest Ball for the second End Zoroark. It's a really good opener for David, considering he's chosen not to attack with the Bombardier, naturally finding his basics is a huge turn 1.
And one thing I want to keep an eye on, viewers, as well, don't forget, these are the only 2 Zoroark that David has to work with right now, because 2 copies are in the prizes, and it looks like they're at the bottom. Traditionally, players take bottom to top, so these are going to be the only 2 Zoroark. Now, you'd love to try and get 3 down, however, if you've only got 2, getting 2 down is also fine. So this is going to see a pass over to Adam. Now, remember, Adam just did get Iona, so let's see how Iona treat
There is a Noctowl, so I think we have a lot of options. There's also Nest Ball in hand as well. Can Adam work towards a combination for the Wellspring Ogerpon? Because you have to bear in mind that you need to move this Hootoo out of the act position whilst using Crispin. So you might even have to use Noctowl to find a second Ultra Ball here to get a second Noctowl into the mix, so then you can get access to your Latias EX in addition to finding Crispin, possibly Sparkling Crystal in the mix as well. Let's see Adam's first Jewel Seeker here. You have to feel like pressurizing some of these basics is important, but there's already a 2 prize Pokemon straight looking at you. Possibly Adam might simply look to use Area 0, go as wide as possible, and allow your Terrapagos EX to reach and take a sneaky 2 prize knockout.
Really, both strategies work really well. So here we do that Jewel Seeker. When you evolve into it, as long as you have a Terra Pokemon in play, you can search your deck for any 2 trainer cards you like. It's really the life and soul of this Terra box archetype. Now, as Joe did mention, you could just search for some Area 0, fill your bench, and the Unified Beatdown from the Terrapagos will be a big hitter. That's a perfectly fine play as well. Also, as Joe did say, you can sort of build towards trying to get your Wellspring Ogerpon. Now, as Joe says, it's going to be a little more awkward. You have to get out of the active. You have to rely on some form of energy acceleration, Crispin, anything like this. But it looks like Area 0 and Professor's Research was taken, so I think we might be seeing a bit of a Unified Beatdown.
Yeah, we're going wide for the beatdown. I like this choice. You can immediately grab the guaranteed Latias EX. That Skylar ability. Now Adam will be able to retreat and already has another Nest Ball in hand. So it's getting really close to already taking a knockout with Unified Beatdown. It does 30 times the number of your bench Pokemon in play. Thanks to the Area 0 under depths, we can go from the usual 5 all the way up to 8 bench slots when we have a Terrestrial Pokemon in play. So this Nest Ball is live, and Adam can find additional basics here. Pikachu EX is an interesting choice. It can, of course, reach on the End Zoroark. You have to be a little bit careful of using your Teal Mask Ogerpon, because that allows Darmanitan to get scary in the mix, of course. Zoroark can cover its grass weakness with the 5-type single prize Pokemon, and there's already reverse energy onto Darumaka, and is instead going for the Pikachu option, which I do think is a safer route here. Also has the manual attachment, so he's ready to go with this Terrapagos.
Wow.
With 7 bench Pokemon, that's already enough.
This hasn't been support yet. There we do Professor Research, Bloodborne and Night Stretch, and that's a really good research there for Adam. 7 new cards, the turn continues, got everything we need. Everything else is like a bit of a bonus right now. Oh, wow, I see the Ace-Spec, I see a Mew, I see the Brock. No need to commit any of that though, I feel as if you've already got everything. So there we are, going to see the free retreat thanks to Skyline and Latias. We're going to see Terrapagos hitting the active Unified Beatdown thanks to Area 0, a big turn 2 KO for Adam. 2 prize cards on the board over to David. Looking could get a little bit techy right now. Looks like he's going to promote. Oh no, we're going to put it Darumaka. This is a tough situation to be in already. Yeah,
your Ends Pokemon can gain free retreat via the Ends Castle, and there's no guarantee that you can get attacking with your Ends Darmanitan here. Flame Body Cannon is a reasonable option, but normally relies on hit weakness, high damage output. So it would be a long game situation to try to do multiple Flame Body Cannons onto multiple multi-prize Pokemon. What's important for Adam here is he still has 2 Hootoo on the board as well.
Oh, here we do see that Pokemon League Headquarters. This is really impactful for a number of reasons. Number 1, it's going to force Adam to discard down to 5, but it also the text on it means basic Pokemon need an extra energy to attack. So that means as it stands now, Terrapagos can't attack, and then there's other Pokemon like Pikachu EX, for example, or the Wellspring Ogerpon now needing 4 energy, makes them a lot less efficient, Joe.
Essentially, it forces Adam to dual seek for another stadium card.
Yes.
And when we're seeing this Iona immediately down to 4 cards, it may be more difficult for Adam to find additional Noctowl. Can David stitch together? I think something like a Counter Catcher plus Darmanitan would be one of the strongest turns for him. Plays 2 Counter Catcher in the deck.
No.
And he access to Zoroark.
No Zoroark, no Counter Catcher.
That's
a whole lot of nothing, I believe.
That is tough.
Ends PP up. Oh wow, maybe
really
Nest Ball, Power Hourglass. No, that's unfortunate right there. We're going to see energy attached to the Defiance Band Zoroark. They reduce the Darumaka. I think that's almost all the player balls.
It's a pass.
Oh, we could have went for Flare, I guess, couldn't we? Oh no, it has to be evolved, isn't it? Yeah, so just the pass over.
And Adam, wow, taking no time to immediately dual seek and will be pouncing on this situation. You have to think that replacing stadium will be one of his priorities. And then from here, how else can he build up his board? He might be content just taking a single prize knockout. Going 3 prizes up is massive. It means if there are more Darmanitan coming in the future, you can cleanly KO those and not have to worry about any headache. You can start trying up Pikachu in this instance, or just rebuild your hand from this stage as well. That could still be an option for him. So Adam's in a fantastic position, but it's about edging yourself closer to being more Iona-proof down the line, because there's only going to be more of them coming, and also getting some more Pokemon powered up. There's the area 0, removing the tech card of the Pokemon League headquarters, and another Nestball is now going to be for the Wellspring Ogerpon EX. Can Adam get a double KO here and keep up the pressure? In this hand, he has Night Stretcher in hand, so he can get the knockdown that was just area 0 bump. He can Crystal and attack with the Wellspring Ogerpon.
I think he has it. I think Sparking Crystal's in hand already, right? So this can find the Crispin.
Crispin's in hand, he has the Crystal now. Yeah, it was the other way around.
Oh, okay.
But can he even get another floating Hoot here? He may not be able to, but even then, just going down to 2 prize cards remaining with so many energy scattered around your board is huge.
That's goodness.
That's some pressure right there.
As we do see, also going to conclude and grab it. The Sparkling Crystal Ace Spec, the Terra Pokemon it is attached to, reduces attack cost by 1. So that means you could torrential pump for 2.
Yeah, I love holding Ultra Ball as his other choice here, because he'll take 2 prize cards from the Wellspring Ogerpon, and that gives you the option to then go New EX possibly and reload your hand. He's spent most of his Nest Ball at this stage, could be all of them honestly. So holding Ultra Ball to give yourself a New EX option. Notice he's taking another Crispin, so he's playing a Crispin this turn and holding one in hand for next turn.
Okay, but give you a chance to torrential pump twice. It does,
It does.
Which would be brutal. There we are going to see Crispin concluding, and you attach extra energy. And
not shuffling, because we know he's going to shuffle his energy back in. If you're wondering why he's not shuffled off the Crispin. Here we go.
There we go, torrential pump. That's big. 200 damage is the active, I should say, and 120 to the bench. 2 prize cards for Adam, shuffling in those energy. Only 2 more prize cards to take. David hasn't even fired off an attack yet. David, it's over to you, my friend. What can we do? Top deck was a buddy puff him.
I really don't see much in this hand. Only a maximum of 1 Zoroark here. Not looking good. Is there even a supporter in this hand?
I don't think there is, Joe. I don't think there was.
Can we move this Ends Darumaka and even draw any additional cards here from Cleffa? Try and use Budgie perhaps? Is there any wiggle room here for David, or is it going to be a very fast game 1 from Adam?
But I think if you go for the Badoo though, you saw that he took the Crispin.
No targets from the buddy puff in. The thing is, Adam wisely, he showed the Crispin and played the one that he
so he's
not showing that there's another Crispin in the hand. He's kept that information hidden. As expected, David, not much to do, no support in his hand, no access to the End Zoroark EX. That's his main engine Pokemon, so he couldn't get cycling. An awful 6 cards from his Iona there, but Adam take full advantage and keeping on that pressure, weaving his way to a couple Dual Seekers to map out a really nice Wellspring Ogerpon EX.
Yeah, I mean, as Adam does win our game 1 feature match, if you do the replay, you're not going to win many games of End Zoroark if you don't get End Zoroark out, let's be honest. And Adam was really poised to capitalise. Look, this is turn 2, everybody. 2 energy, area 0 under, almost filled up the bench entirely. Basically had his ideal turn 2 before playing a single support card. It was from here, basically. 2 prize cards turn 2. Adam was not willing to take his foot off the gas. There's no point in showing much David highlights. Unfortunately, didn't even get to attack, so straight back over to Adam. That was the interesting turn. The Pokemon League headquarters got immediately put, but this right here, this is where, if I'm David, I'm going straight to Concession City, because there's just no coming back from this torrential pump. 2 prize cards again, and that was all she wrote for game 1. Adam put in a fantastic masterclass on there on how to play the Terra Box archetype. However, it's the best of 3 for a reason in Pokemon TCG. All Dave has to do is win these next 2 in a row. End Zoroark, once you get 1 Zoroark out, trade. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. It can start to get out of control really fast. I'm intrigued to see, as both players shuffle up here, how this game is going to pan out.
One of those awkward situations made by the Bombardier EX, that one of inclusion that sometimes helps you with consistency, but really didn't help in that instance because it allowed Adam to go wide on his board immediately and not have to use a Crispin as his supporter, could reload his hand really nicely after his research. So we'll see if David wants to try and weave in Bombardier again, or if he can try and naturally find some additional basics just by the use of Buddy Pop in. Even if you start giving up those prize cards from the Wellspring, it's much more awkward because the Wellspring Ogerpon puts all his energy back into the deck and forces Adam down the same avenue again. If you force a Crispin every turn, they're not able to target boss orders, they're not able to reload the large hand size. And at some point, Iona will slow them down.
100%. You want to try and force, I think if you're David, you want to try and force Adam's prizes to be all very awkward. I need you to find your Crispin, you need to have turn, I need to find your Ace Spec. Being able to get a cheeky little 2 prize cards turn 2 against the Bombardier just by filling your bench. You need to limit that as much as possible. So let's not be doing that yet. But I'm sure David knows all this. Multiple reasonable 16s. He's going to try his best to stop that from happening. And to be fair, you're not going to win many games. I imagine he prize 2 End Zoroark.
Doesn't help. You kind of have to write that one off as we're getting into the second game. With the best of 3, we start to see some prize cards. Nothing terrible this time around. One of your 2 counter catches sometimes can be awkward. So you have to feel like David's still going to be on the back foot. David opts to go first and just have that Buddy Pop in open, which is a great start. Also, naturally, the End Darumaka, an 80 hit point Pokemon is much more difficult to find, but naturally seeing that copy in the opening hand is a fantastic thing to see, Shay, so you can weave in that End Darumaka. It's a great option to attack in a defensive stance, but also copying it from End Zoroark. If you can do that turn 2, it's a big combination, but copying it from an End Zoroark is possible, and then even if you can target down some Hoot from Adam, that could be massive. So starting off well here from David, as he's once again doing a diligent deck search, has 34 or so minutes left on the clock to try and win 2 more games here, so still has to go through the motions and make sure he's aware of his resources.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's possible. And as you say, if you're able to just really limit those Hoot via Flame Body Cannon, that'd be ridiculous for David to try and get back his game, because this Terra Box deck relies on the Hoot, right? If Adam didn't find the Noctowl, that game wouldn't have been where it did. He almost knocked out every turn, I believe. So one thing I want to draw attention to, though, Joe, is that Adam led the Ludo.
Not too shabby, eh?
Yeah, one of the best attack names in format. Love that. We definitely won't be using that, but we will be using it for its ability transformative start. Once you turn, if this Pokemon's in the active spot, you search your deck, choose a basic Pokemon you find there, accept Ditto, discard the Ditto, and swap the Pokemon you want from your deck. So what that Ditto basically says is, it can be whatever you want.
And it means he can fix his board. I think we already saw the Fan Rotom in Adam's hand, getting a bit ahead of ourselves here, but it does mean that he can transform into one of his high-priority terrestrial Pokemon, putting pressure on. Even using a Swap attack on the End Reshiram would be massive, and it would set himself up potentially for another terrestrial pump on a future turn. So David is immediately grabbing Cleffa in addition to one of his Enzarua, keeping the option for the Grasping Draw open. Obviously can't use it on this first turn, he's the player opting to go first.
So let's have a look. I imagine if you get Cleffa, then you have to have a way to get Reshiram out the active, surely. Or maybe, we are going to see End's Castle. Now, End's Castle is a stadium card viewers that gives you End's Pokemon free treat cost. It's very important in the End Zoroark archetype. The deck relies on it a lot, because a lot of Pokemon have a big power tree cost. End's Castle gets around it. It's over to Adam now. Anytime you see a Fan Rotom, it's going to be a good turn. But to have Fan Rotom, another one if you want it, and Hoot already, in the active.
Oh my goodness, that is incredible.
It'd be hard to draw up a better turn even if you tried.
That is, if you're picking a hand, that's the hand you're picking, to be honest with you. It's lacking the support, that's about the only thing. Like sometimes it's nice to get a turn on Crispin, just get on energy, but I feel like going for a Wellspring Ogerpon EX is amazing here. With the manual attachment of a grass, you can get a sob in on this Cleffa, trap it, and then open yourself up for a really easy torrential pump when you have access to your Dual Seekers on turn 2 of the game. And that's what I'm debating here.
And that sob, in case you don't know, viewers, a 1 energy attack, 20 damage, and then it stops your opponent from retreating. Traditionally, the End Zoroark decks don't play many switching cards. There is one card with Professor Choro. However, if you're forcing your opponent to Professor Choro turn 2, you're probably going to put them in an awkward spot.
You are.
So if you do see the Fan Rotom coming down as well, and you grab 3 colourless Pokemon 100 hit points or less, basically so search out a whole lot of your deck if you're playing Terra Box. So you're going to grab Hoot, Noctowl.
There's already multiple Hoot in hand as well. So the only issue is your hand is so good that the only headache is like, do I even take another Noctowl in case I get hit with Iona?
That's a good point.
I think you do take another Noctowl on balance here because you can't even fit any additional colourless Pokemon. There is one Hoot still for Adam, and Adam's going to do this saying his hand is so good. If I get hit with an Iona, which is quite common in End Zoroark, they're going to play a really high count, usually 4 copies. I want to have enough Noctowl rooting around in my deck so I can still hit them off a random 6 cards, because you have to expect Dave to try and disrupt here, as he did in that first game.
So we're going to see double Hoo coming down. We're going to see a turn attachment of the grass to the active and Sob. 20 damage, and that Cleffa cannot retreat. So if anyone's going to get out of this, we do see that Professor Choro. And let's have a look. It's over to Dave. Now we do see it in Zoroark. Hey. There we go. So that means trade is now live. You discard one card from your hand to draw 2 more. If you do see an activation on the discard, it looks like that Buddy Puffin being eyed up perhaps, or can't quite see David on. Took you a little bit lower for Sunshine. There we go.
That will come into effect later.
Oh, 100%. Oh, there's Professor Choro.
I don't think there's much else to do here.
I'm not sure. Is this a turn? Probably not. I think the grass can draw.
No, I feel like, yeah, you probably just need to grasp up here, to be honest. At least you'll be able to evolve your vulnerable low hit point Pokemon, so now the Wellspring Pokemon is far less of a concern. Its Torrential Pump deals 120 to the bench, and every Pokemon now sits outside of that range.
Yep. You can't get too cheeky and Torrential Pump the Zoroark because that's that Night Joker powerful raid could come back to, yeah, that will slap that Teal Mask Pokemon straight to the discard pile. So very interesting. Now it's back over to Adam. We do see the Grasping Jaw going to draw up. And we do see the Dual Seeker come down from Adam. So you have 2 trainer cards. But yeah, this is a rock commanded position. I think if you're a Tera archetype player, you can't really ask for a better setup than this. I feel you've got starting your turn 2, you've got your Wellspring, you've got an Engine already, and you've got a Noctowl in hand. What do you believe? What do you think Adam's working towards here?
The easiest way to still take 2 prizes with this Wellspring Pokemon is to utilize your weakness and bring up the Enstar Manatan, turn attach, use a Sparkling Crystal, then you can finish off the Cleffa and the Enstar Manatan all in one turn.
Yep.
And Adam is spying boss's orders, so as long as he has access to these pieces, yeah, it is going to be a Sparkling Crystal boss's orders combination. You take out one of the key threats that David will try and utilize with that Flame Body Cannon no longer available for a turn, and at the same time you're still mapping out that 2 prize KO. Adam's making sure Enstar Manatan is indeed weak to water.
It definitely is, unfortunately.
The 2 prize KO here.
Wow, this is strong. And we do see Nestball being played here as well. And just that Dual Seeker, you know, if you can make full use of it, what a commanding ability it is. We do see Nestball being played there for the Pheasantipity EX. Basically, boss's orders go into the Enstar Manatan. We are going to see a turn attach. We are going to see Sparkling Crystal. I mean, Torrential Pump is now live. There's a big KO via weakness into the active. And we're going to see 120 damage to the bench. And it's got to be clever.
This is the only way you stop the 2 prize KO. You know that you can do that with other Pokemon as David gets more multi-prizes into the mix. You want to just take the 2 prizes and just deal with Zoroark back to back, either with Pikachu EX or utilizing your Teal Mask Pokemon as well. That can hit for weakness, of course, when Zoroark is fully powered up. So taking the 2, taking a key thrust off the board. This is again great pressure from Adam. Once again, turn 2, once again going up 2 prize cards.
Yep, you can't ask for a better start than that. Now it is over to David with a bit of a slim looking board, let's say. We do see an Ultra Ball being played.
Yeah, there's Ino in hand as well, so at least you can see an additional 6 and start to rebuild this bench a little bit. But we don't have any access to Dark Energy just yet. You want to discard some of these for the acceleration of the deck. The Ends PP up item card allows you to attach energy from your discard pile to one of your Ends Pokemon, basic energy that is. And the Ends does have a 2 Dark attack cost to copy anything from your Ends Pokemon. Right now it's just that Reshiram. Yeah. And that's not ideal because David just setting up this damage on the Wellspring, not the best, to be honest with you. And you can leave it in with the Flame Body Cannon later, but it's not really the pressure you're looking for.
I think this is, when you're playing against Zoroark, this is the situation you want to be. Remove the Darmanitan and Darumaka. Because if you get into this board state where they can't do a Flame Body Cannon, the deck I think becomes, well, very underpowered, right? The maximum damage you can really do here is 170. That doesn't even KO a basic EX right now with your stage 1 that has 2 energy. So what you're basically saying is, next turn, you're not doing a great deal. I'm taking 2 prize cards now, and this is where I think the weakness of the Ends Zoroark deck is. It hasn't just got that big get out of the way attack you can pull quickly, right?
Get out of the way.
You have to do a Virtuous Flame 170. Now, we do see an Ends Darumaka hitting the board. We do see the Pheasantipity, Fit the Script, fantastic ability, we all know that. Ooh, counter catcher, okay.
Simply just taking these off the board can make that 170 look a lot better. You're just taking a single prize and the crucial engine Pokemon off the board for Adam.
This is a very important item for David to get back in this game. This item needs to stick for Adam. It's over to David though. Are we able to see?
Not quite. So Fit the Script first before trading, so that we can discard some Dark Energy and work towards an Ends PP up. At least we do have the Body Puffin for some additional Zorua, because we are going to need those. The more trade, the better is the policy typically for the Ends Zoroark archetype. There's also the option of an Itchy Pollen here as well.
Okay.
There are all the energy removed from Adam's board thanks to the Wellspring Pokemon. So now you bring up the Hoo-Hoo. There's no easy option to find Latias yet. The ball search will be shut down.
And there's no Area 0 now.
Area 0. So Dual Seeker would have to find something like Brock Scouting, and that's actually the prize cards for Adam. So you can't go for Area 0 Brock Scouting as a combination. We know that from the prizes. So even if there is a Noctowl, you can't easily move the Hoo-Hoo unless there's natural base energy in the hand that could just open up a sob. So this could be a great way for you to open up some turns.
I like this guy. We do see Fit the Script activation. Sort of hedging your bets, right? Like if I can't get Night Joker this turn, I'll do Itchy Pollen instead. That's about that. Now we do see the trades. I'm going to discard that Bombardier. Doesn't want any use of that now, so straight to the discard pile. So you do see Secret Box.
I think you're probably holding that. You've already played your supporter this turn. There's no trading you like in play. You can't use the League Headquarters if you want to use Itchy Pollen, of course. So
no, that'd be a bit silly.
Manually attaching Dark Energy onto your Ends Zoroark here seems reasonable, and then you just go into the Buju. And you're going to hear this Pokemon a lot throughout the entire weekend. Itchy Pollen is a tech attack that we have in so many different archetypes here. It attacks with 0 energy, just does 10 damage, but crucially stops the opponent from utilizing item cards on the next turn. It's small, but it's definitely powerful.
It is. I hope everyone at home is patching antihistamines if you're here or you're in Utrecht, because it's about to be a pollen count is getting rather high. It's over to Adam. Does have to knock out in hand of the Ino. Adam, wow.
You love to see it. There's the Area 0 immediately. As we said, with no with item lock, you can't search out Latias EX easily. So it might just be a Sob here, but even just using Crispin to retreat is solid here. You could also attack with Fan Rotom if you want to just take a single prize KO with a Sob landing and keep that pressure on. A Lightning and Grass Energy will be plucked from the deck with a Crispin here. Let's see what Adam wants to take this.
Probably the wrong thing to do. We go over triple stab free-headed. KO to put him as well. I imagine that's not what we're going to be seeing there.
Oh, has the Latias EX now?
Oh, wow.
Another Torrential Pump here.
There's no way. Oh, Adam Hawkins, please.
Oh my, wow.
Skyliner activated, Teal Dance, double energy onto the Wellspring, Ogerpon, Sparkling Crystal. Torrential Pump is live. That's going to be a big 2 prize KO again. And Adam doing this the hard way. These haven't been the EX knockouts, folks. These have been multiple 1 prize KOs, turn after turn after turn. Darren Maka, was it Darren? It would have been active, I apologise. And what is going to get KO'd here?
You're giving your opponent a lot of draw power. They already have Pheasantipity, they already have one Ends Zoroark. Let's take away those attacking threats, knowing that there's easy prizes to take on that Pheasantipity, even that Ends Zoroark. As we know, the Teal Mask Pokemon EX is already getting lined up. And Zoroark, like you said, Shay, well, it's not heavily damaged. It can't deal with these basic EXs too easily when there's no Darmanitan available. So that's Teal Mask Pokemon could be that final threat for Adam to take his last 2 prize cards.
Don't forget, Zoroark is weak to grass, so keep an eye on that. Now, this is what I said though, if you remove the Darmanitan and Darumaka threat from Zoroark, it becomes so much more one-dimensional. Let's not forget as well, there is no Ends Castle in play for David. It hasn't got an easy promotion here. We'll have to try and find an Ends Castle if he wants to get a free retreat card back. So this is a hard position to be in. Does actually have Ends Castle in hand actually? I apologise.
There is also 1 energy already on the Ends Zoroark, so you don't need to find an Ends PP up to attack. You can just manually attach here. So I don't mind this choice either.
I just feel so sad though. We do 170 with your stage 1 to basic EX, so there's no way to clear this out the way. We do see the Ends Zoroark promotion though. We do see the secret box.
This could be one of the big moments if you can finally Iono Adam down to 2 cards, plus use your crucial stadium tech card. The Pokemon League Headquarters now can get really cheeky. This also grants you access possibly to a Pokemon catcher. If you can take out the remaining Hoot-Toot, that could be valuable even though you're giving your opponent Fit the Script. It's still stopping Adam from cherry picking cards, and we've seen him do that beautifully in the last couple turns.
Really has been. So we are going to see the secret box activation. It's got 3 cards from your hand. However, you do get to search your deck for an item, a tool, a supporter, and a stadium. The Pokemon League Headquarters gets swiftly taken to the top. Power Hourglass as well. Probably 100% useful here, but can obviously attach it if you like. And the supporters probably have to be the Iono, surely.
I would hope so. There should be plenty remaining.
Yep, just saw a couple getting scrolled past there.
Unless there's any in hand, sometimes you might want to keep something in the day, something in hand. You could just take a support you'll not use done. Right at the bottom. Hand within a turn.
It's just sort of heads up play. Wasn't really added up, right? Sort of meticulous, looking force card. You can really get away where you're only going to draw cards you want. And over the course of 8 rounds of the day, 1 more on the day 2, they're the sort of things that turn good players into great players.
It's that final item card that Dave is deliberating over, and in the end it's going to be a super rod that's going to reload some of those Zoroark. It's going to be pretty important for him. As you said, Jay, so often that without that option of End-Star Manatan, you are so limited with your lines of play. Adam's immediately throwing away a couple knocked out. As we know, it opens up Night Stretcher for additional outs to get back into Dual Seeker. They've had their one use, so let's get rid of them.
Yep. Not too helpful when they're in play. Well, he's super rod now. Shove back in any combination of 3 Pokemon and or basic energy. Now, Blood Moon that is a card that can deal with these basic EX. You can only do it at the end of the game now. However, it doesn't do enough damage to where it can start to plow through them. So I think it's very wise to get that back in the deck.
Yeah, it could be a world where you try and weave it in. Of course, it's a little bit more difficult when you use your own Pokemon League headquarters.
Yeah.
So it might be a backup play. Trying to attack with Zoroark this turn, trying to reload an Zoroark would be huge as well.
Yep.
But I don't think we super rod any back, and there is one of the prize cards. So I'm not sure if we even have that option. Is there one in hand here? Not sure. The Night Stretcher there's the secret.
Yeah. There we go.
Last piece of the puzzle. Using the Zoroark, putting that back into play, and taking those out every opportunity he's had. And just before the I know, we will see a Power Glass attachment.
Just in case you missed the energy. You'd be really sad if you did.
Yeah, that's sad. We have a lot of cards to see with script and still
trade. Yeah, and trade. So I know David gets sick, Adam gets 2. David needs to slow Adam down a little bit. Adam's done a masterful job of getting around it.
Yeah, we do see
energy. There we go.
Can we get towards a counter catcher? Or has that already been spent as, again, one of the prize cards?
Not currently yet. We just flip the script. A lot of engines. We do see a trade now. We're going to get rid of a basic card. Don't mind it if I'm flying back thanks to Power Glass as well. Right. So 1 and 2. Boss is always in the
hand. Is there a high priority? I think it was Cyrano and Counter Catcher.
I think it was Boss. It's his Boss. I could be wrong though. We'll find out soon. Yeah, it's his Boss. Got me excited there, Joe.
The NPP up is actually taken as well, so you could use the NPP up so the Power Glass doesn't steal energy for itself.
Great point. That's what David
did.
Oh yeah, you'd rather have it spread out. Zoroark, NPP up, I should say, let you have a basic energy attach it to one of your ends Pokemon. Love that. So here we go. Now we're cooking, David. Got energy. You know what, Pokemon? It's a shame. It's kind of, it's going to be a virtuous flame, I think. 170.
Yeah, 170 damage. It does set you up for a flame body cannon later.
Good point, actually.
So you have to accept that.
Well, that was a big turn for David. The comeback. Is the comeback? Oh, Adam, is that not? Oh, hold on. He took the hand straight off. That was very good, though, Joe.
He can attach energy to Sob, because he has Sparking Crystal plus a turn attachment. Can allow you to still get the 1 energy attack cost of Sob with the League headquarters.
I mean, you could, but then that just sets up the flame body cannon to be disastrous.
It does.
If it comes out from the other side, right?
What else can we do?
Oh, well, to be fair,
750 X view on the following turn.
Okay, that's true.
That's all we can really hope for. I think you like keeping a multi-prize Pokemon in the active. It stops David going into the Darmanitan itself.
True. Yeah, it's tough.
Maybe rescue board, can't see the final card. It's just another Pokemon in his hand that you can't play down.
Well, I think at some point the Inos would have to have got Adam. Hasn't been able to get out of them all. So this is going to get a little bit interesting here.
You can retreat the Wellspring Ogopon as well. It's a terrestrial Pokemon, so it can't easily be picked off on the bench.
True.
So you could simply go into Fan Rotom. That would still open up a 2-prize KO, because David could take out the Fan Rotom and the Hoo-Hoo.
Oh, yeah.
So
wow.
it's getting complicated in this game number 2. Round 3 of Swiss here in Utrecht.
Yeah, this is a tough situation. We're going to see a free retreat thanks to Skyliner on the Latias into Fan Rotom.
He's just going to hold the energy while it's I don't mind attaching a Metal Energy onto the Teal Mask Ogopon EX. That puts you a Teal Dance plus turn attachment away, because you need to have now 4 energy on this Teal Mask Ogopon to attack. Yeah, I really like this choice. There we go, a pass from Adam. What can stop now? We know there's already Fossils in hand, so he can take priority here. It's about trying to get an End-Star Manatan back into the mix. We've seen him Super Rod 1 back into the deck. Can he work toward it with a couple of these trades?
Yeah, big turn here for David. You successfully bought yourself a turn. You needed to do that to get back in this game. Here we're going to see trade. Going to draw 2. We want to see the End-Star Manatan at some point. I don't think we've got any way to search for it right now. So we've got 1 more trade still available. No script, there's no Pokemon case, none of that. But anybody pop in? Darmanitan, 1, 2. Oh, not quite.
There's only 1 Ultra Ball in the deck as well, because it's such a Cyrano-focused engine.
Yeah.
You can see the physical copies of these Pokemon. They're hard to search.
Yeah, so I think that's all the draw power for this turn.
Honestly, is it better to pass than to attack into this Fan Rotom? You do not want to give Adam flip the script. Do you just hold they'll trade more next turn and get there?
Maybe you can attach a reversal to your Darmanitan.
You could use Fossils on Latias EX and take 2 prizes if you want to. That's opening up card draw for Adam.
It really is. Like, you know that I know. You know, really stuck it to Adam. I'll be tempted, as you say, to be like, right, I'm going to see number 4 cards next turn, 5 in my top deck. I reckon I'll be okay.
You can bring up sensitivity and set it up with 170, so when you are using Flame Body Cannon, then you're taking out the flip the script. That does spend your boss's orders, of course, but could be more valuable. I feel like taking the Fan Rotom is definitely a bait.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst option I would think.
Damaging sensitivity has to be the best here, I think. It's not easy, though. There's reasons to go for Hoo-Hoo. There's reasons to go for Latias thanks to weakness. You're just gambling a little bit from sensitivity draw.
I think it's sensitivity or Hoo-Hoo for me. You've got to get rid of at least one of them. Hoo-Hoo gets rid of any bailout, knocked out.
Like
sensitivity, as you say, though, this is... if you get Flame Body Cannon next turn, this is monstrous. Love to see it.
One final bench space open. This is the final Zoroark coming down. There's Zoroark in hand. We still need to trade towards Darmanitan.
There we go.
I do like this choice. 170 damage coming onto sensitivity, lining up a great Flame Body Cannon. David just crossing his fingers for 1 more slow turn from Adam, and he's only got a top deck. Let's see what it is.
Big virtuous play is open to over to Adam. Professor Choro. I mean, that does undo that damage at the very least, I guess, but...
Typically, we'd be popping off at Professor Choro, but there are no knocked out in play to re-utilize Dual Seeker.
Which is interesting.
We just have to use this as a healing effect going back into the Fan Rotom, perhaps.
I think so.
Yeah, we're back again. We're putting David back into that spot of trying to do what he did last turn. He's got down now, but we do have more...
There's Darmanitan up the top. Darmanitan is now going to be live. Flame Body Cannon 9 to the active, 9 to the bench. We do see 3 End Zoroark now in play. That's 6 cards, Joe, before you've even played support or anything like this. This is what the deck is built to do. Draw cards and fire off 5 Flame Body Cannons. David's finally got there. Here we go.
And crucially, there's already the reversal energy on this End-Star Manatan, so if he can find the Defiance Band and work towards a KO on the Wellspring Ogopon, Adam's only current threat, that could be monstrous.
That would be a turn. That would be the comeback that David is after consulting the discard pile after second use of trade. Trying to see what else we got here.
There is the Defiance Band in the hand, Jay.
Yeah.
So if we can once again find a gusting effect.
Here we go. 1, 2. So I know not quite a support of it after. So that's 1 more trade available.
That is the beauty of this deck. Whenever you're given time, you can see more and more options. 4 cards remaining in the deck.
Here we go. Boss's orders would be lovely. Boss's orders off the second card.
You have to feel like this is the play for David now. You can take out the Teal Mask Ogopon. You can also take out a Hoo-Hoo on your way.
Yep.
Put yourself really close to closing out the game.
Yeah, so we're going to the retreat.
Yeah, the protection of this stadium card as well being huge for David. We have to stress that.
Yeah, it just means any sort of bailout attack from Adam are going to be much harder to work towards. If we're going to see the pay retreat from the Zoroark into Darmanitan, thanks to that reversal energy counters 3 energy while he's behind on poison, which he definitely is. Just a little bit. That's going to KO active and then KO the active after the boss and then get rid of the Who. Basically said, Adam, you're in a lot of trouble.
Staring him down and picking apart engine Pokemon from Adam here whilst going ahead and...
Okay.
We're not taking out the Teal Mask Ogopon just yet. We're holding on to Defiance Band as an option.
Okay.
It is somewhat risky. There is Sensitivity draw on the line for Adam now. Can he walk towards any sort of play here? Bottle comes to the hand. That could be a piece, but not yet. Let's see flip the script.
Here we go. Big 3 cards here for Adam. Was it nice stretcher? Couldn't quite get that one out.
Energy in the discard pile. That could be an additional teal dance here.
And the answer is there's
no
not.
energy. We've only shuffled energy back into the deck with torrential pump so far.
It's one of the greatest hands. Is that double boss's orders?
Yeah, 2 copies of boss's orders in his hand for Adam. Who's now going to take a look at the discard pile from David. There's still 1 reversal energy available. It's terrifying if you're Adam now. David's still happy, content to stay behind on prizes so that he can line this up. Adam staring down a single prize Pokemon that's really awkward, really threatening, but you don't have the resources to knock it out. You have to commit energy if you even want to stop here. I don't think there's energy in his hand. There's not much better things to use boss's orders on either. The only upside is if you bring up Sensitivity, it means you can't attach reversal energy once again to the Darmanitan. It would have to be a copy of the Flame Body Cannon, and that would be the multiplier on the active spot. Adam thinking about the Ends Reshiram has a high retreat cost, but another Ends Castle. I like this choice.
I prefer that, It
means that now there can't be reversal energy onto the Darmanitan. And it's also going to be a sob here. Thanks to the attachment of psychic energy, thanks to the Crystal Edition, you're now getting around the Pokemon League headquarters and you're trapping this Sensitivity EX. David still has Professor Tera scenario available, and that's going to be bad news for Adam.
There's 1 card left in deck. I'll keep an eye on that. Ends Castle off the top. That's not going to get Sensitivity. It did be. Oh, the tutorial is in hand actually.
It must be. He's holding his old deck.
What are the chances it's the last card? Wow, what a turn there from Adam. Doing everything he can. The limited resources available. Does he have any way to shuffle the deck though?
Yeah, there's still 1 owner remaining.
Oh, okay,
so he's turning to use Professor Tera scenario, reversal energy. Darmanitan finishes off the Bellspring Ogerpon, takes out the Hoot on the bench, leaving Adam with that Sensitivity to try and work towards a dusting effect, plus a turn attachment, plus a Steel Dance. And it all has to be grass energy. That's a big combination for Adam to find, but he's not out of it yet.
Nope.
And Adam is basically forced to use Professor Tera because of the trap Sensitivity thanks to Sob. He has essentially no choice here.
We are going to see the Defiance Band get activated. That is live. Pokemon is attached to an extra 30 if you're behind on prize cards, which he is. There we do see the reversal, which is also live. His Flame Body Cannon is possible. We know Professor Tera is there. Going to pick up active Sensitivity. We need to do that thanks to Sob. That's going to pick it up, return it back to the hand. Darmanitan can fly into the active position, and then pick big KO on the active. KO the Hoot as well. And as you say, Adam does have a way to get around that. It's going to be very tight though. No margin for error there for Adam. Big turn here for David. Flame Body Cannon, KO on the active.
With the Defiance play, does that mean we're taking out the Teal Mask Ogerpon? I feel like that is a threat.
Yeah, I mean, it would be right.
That is definitely the threat here. Yeah,
wow.
Adam is really limited on lines at this stage. That was one of his only Pokemon that could feasibly take a 2-prize KO next turn. David's put himself in a fantastic position with the use of Countercatcher. I'm not even sure if there is a combination that Adam can find, especially without the option of Jewel Seeker, because that's also going to be KO'd by Flame Body Cannon here. Yeah,
this is tough for Adam. I think Adam might be needing a miracle of all things trying to get out of this game. This is looking tough. Flame Body Cannon, thanks to weakness, and thanks to Defiance Band. Big 3-prize KO there from the Ends Darmanitan. David on the board, only 1 turn away from winning. So is Adam technically. I don't see a way out of this.
The only thing I'm thinking is there's 1 card remaining in David's deck. So can Adam go for a Sob line of play or some other destruction piece? He has draws from Flip the Script still, of course, as well. David will be able to use Iron to reset his hand, but can he ever move or re-attack with this Darmanitan?
Just checking there's no way for Adam to hit David's deck. I don't think there is. No cheeky little discard of top of your opponent. None of that.
But you can still launch the Sob. And even if there's an Ends Castle, it's stuck. You can try and bring up the Ends Reshiram and maybe tick the clock away as well. Here's 3 cards from Sensitivity.
I mean, no Professor Tera. Wow, okay. 3 basic energy.
We can, in theory, bring up the Ends Reshiram, Sob it, then bring back up Darmanitan and still find a 2-prize KO later on. So you don't have to stall the entire game away with Sob.
Just got to buy a few turns.
Just have to buy enough time to get in range. There it is. What's the Ends Reshiram?
There we go.
2 damage counters from Sob.
Okay, well.
David has no cards in deck, so has to use Iron this turn. We know that much.
Yep, in the Pokemon TCG, if you cannot draw a card at the start of your turn, you will lose that game. So Iron has to be the supporter. That has to be the way to get that hand back in. And remember, that Ends Reshiram has been locked by Sob. We know Professor Tera has been played. So an Ends Castle isn't going to get out of this.
There are no more Professor Tera available, otherwise that's an easy way to win. You just simply pick up your Ends Reshiram, put it back down, and use it with Ends Zoroark, copying it. So it is going to be the Iono. David gets 1 card, can trade his way to top back up on cards. Adam only getting 2, but he has time. He can stop for many turns.
He really does. Wow, this is not how I expected this to go. But here we go, 1 card, and it was. I can't see it. We're going to trade it anyway. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's a good card. There's the problem with the sort of Iono to 1 trade. It's going to be a pass. Okay. Adam's got a Nest Ball.
A fresh hand has Mew EX and Nest Ball now. How does that change things? He can thin some Pokemon out, certainly. Well, there's an additional Hoot. That opens up Jewel Seeker again for him, and if this trap is paying off, he could be in a good position once again.
Yeah, we're going to see the Hoot getting pairs on open up Jewel Seeker next turn.
Would you imagine still 1 boss's orders for Adam to use? There's also, of course, the factor of the clock at this stage. He could just keep sobbing away for many turns, trying to trap. The Ends Reshiram can take quite a few of them.
And it's a shame there's no energy to use that powerful way. That'd be fun to, but unfortunately, the Ends are deck. Do not play that.
Couple cards from UEX, that gets the Earthen Vessel.
Okay, but yeah,
this is going to be the stop.
Okay, is over to David. Now does have all the trades. So kind of see an extra 6 cards this turn.
Didn't want to discard anything. If you start trading, you get lower. You get lower in your deck.
True,
and that's help Adam out. So you just have to allow the Ends Reshiram to get slowly knocked out. That's all you can do here. Adam has to look for and see, is there boss's orders still available for him in the deck? I'm not sure if there is, you know.
He's playing Giovanni Fulara. I don't think I saw it.
I think he may have already played both. He's sifting through.
Yeah.
But what he can do is go into another Wellspring Ogerpon, give himself a bit more protection, and keep damaging this Reshiram. So David can't simply pick off this Wellspring Ogerpon. David's already played a couple of dusting effects himself. He does still have 1 boss's orders remaining, but I'm trying to give himself as much protection as possible. Ooh, I'm thinking about using Sensitivity at some point, but it's a quick draw from you.
1
for a couple cards.
2, like restart. He does have 3 cards in hand, but it's just going to be the Sob.
Another Sob. 4 minutes, less than that on the clock remaining. David having to pass back into Adam just because he has very few cards remaining in his deck, and this Ends Reshiram cannot attack. Jewel Seeker's open for Adam now.
Live. Jewel Seeker is live. Just going to consult the discard pile. Wow, all of a sudden Adam is right back in this game.
Both with boss's orders. We can't simply win on the spot here. He can't bring back the Ends Darmanitan into the active position.
Yeah, this is an interesting one.
He has to keep sobbing away. I don't see another option for him. Let's see what he can grab from Jewel Seeker.
This will give us a bit more insight into what he's planning.
The potential for Professor Tera is there for him. Can he reach on any other Pokemon here?
So Area 0 being taken. That is going to, if it's put in play, replace that Pokemon League headquarters.
Yeah, that's going to play that. That can allow him to attack with other Pokemon a lot easier. Attacking with a Blood Moon Luna might be one of his safer bets. It has high hit points. Stays out of range of Darmanitan, and when you take the Reshiram out of play, maybe it's difficult for the Zoroark as well. Here comes a Night Stretcher.
Did we do see the Area 0 come down? It's like Night Stretcher is going to be played as well. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there were the 2 boss orders for the Hoot.
Nest Ball coming out as well. We're getting ready to go to Rapagos. There's Pikachu EX as well, another Wellspring Ogerpon. Adam really thinking, what is the safest route here? It feels like David can trade his way towards the bottom of the deck whenever he wants to. So, and with no destruction in Adam's deck anyway, he's just thinking, hopefully David is out of dusting effects. This heavily damaged Wellspring Ogerpon needs to come off the board. Even if it does, there's new EX and there's Latias EX that both have Dark Weakness that are easy to finish off.
Great point.
It's only 1 prize card as well, so Noctowl can be KO'd easily.
Well, energy switch onto the Wellspring Ogerpon and another restart. So I think you're right, we're going to see just another Sob. Okay, looks like we're going to see some trades here from David.
And then the pass.
Yeah, there's nothing
on that tiny bit of pressure. Adam having a look at cards remaining, but also the clock is a huge factor here. Adam is 1 game ahead. Doesn't have to win the second game to win the set.
Yep.
If time runs out, there are 3 additional turns.
Oh, wow. That was a pass on the stop, sorry, Joe. Carry on.
Well, here we go. A lot of damage now coming onto this Ends Reshiram. Adam will have to stop the stop block at some stage. There's the Lunar attached pass.
We can't KO it, can we?
Not this turn at least. It has 130 hit points.
Oh, yeah, we have one more turn.
Yeah, we have 1 more turn of stop, but then what else can Adam do? 1 more Jewel Seek available. Adam having a look at his discard pile. Also tossing up the turns left. He has to think, even if this time dwindles down, there still are turns to play for David afterwards. And you're really running out of time to sob.
Yeah, this is really...
Adam has to decide on this last Dual Seeker. Can he affect the game in any way? He can freely retreat one Wellspring into another. He can also go into this... Ooh, look at this. Going into Terrapagos EX. And just going to pass.
I like that. Tough one to hit. Basically saying, I don't think you've got any bosses left. Is over to David. But 20 few seconds left on the clock. We'll get confirmation when time is called. That is correct.
Now it's down to whether or not there are Ends Castles. If there are, he can freely retreat. The stop has been lifted.
Yep.
So if David can work towards the bottom, he can easily Blood Moon Nurse Luna KO. With Adam on 2 prize cards left.
I think there is Ends Castles left. I think there is there.
David's drawing.
Boss's orders. I mean, it's nice, but... Well, I mean, there has to be Ends Castle if you do this trade, right? It's got to be there.
Let's see it.
Here we go.
We believe it's there.
We believe, you believe, Cha. David believes. Ends Castle. Is it there? There it is. Second card. Free retreat. But then we're going to see the KO by Blood Moon, Ursa Luna, and Adam, David, I should say, takes our game 2 here in our Swiss round 3 feature match here in Utrecht. Now, that game was really interesting, right? Well, David obviously got to the races first, but Adam was really able to slow the game down. But David, eventually, once that stop block was lifted, as you say, Joe, was able to get back straight in the race, as we do see the replay here. As I think the main difference in this game was that David was able to get Zoroark out.
Yeah, it took him a while, of course. Adam still got off the races with a couple of back-to-back torrential pumps, which was devastating. But David took that slow turn or 2, setting up damage across the board with having to utilise Ends Reshiram, eventually got into Ends Manatan. Once again, it was the MVP. Taking out Huhu while Adam still had options, and crucially using the Defiance Band, in addition to a gusting effect to bring up the big threat on Adam's bench. The Teal Mask Open EX was so threatening.
And you see it there?
Yeah, there is the counter catcher bringing it up. The 2 copies of Professor Tero in David's deck was also a big reason why this game was closed out. Adam may have thought that an earlier stop was already locking the game up.
Yeah.